Hi, Dreadleg here with a quick video on how to solo Ashfang. To start, you're going to need a good set of tank armor, so a Reaper Mask and Gold Ore is a pretty good way to start. You're also going to need to do a lot of magic damage, so a good set of mana pool equipment will be helpful. You'll also want to have a decent Hyperion. You don't have to have a completely maxed one, but a decent one will be helpful. I also have all of my magic power tuned to intelligence. To get started, we're going to put a Plasma Flux right above Ashfang itself, and then Hype right down into the middle of him. The goal is to hit all of the reds as they spawn and get some damage on them. The greys are also going to get aggroed by this, so you can pull them out to the side and then spin around them a little bit to get them all grouped together. You want to go to this side because it's nice and flat, and there's two gravity wells here that spawn really close by. Once those gravity wells start to show up, you pull the whole group over to it until they get caught, and then you go back and put a Plasma Flux over Ashfang again. This gives you time for your mana to recharge before you go attack the reds. And when you get back, the Burning Souls are ready to launch. Now we're ready to go attack the reds. Since we hit them with the Hype when they spawned, they're actually lower health and easy to clear. Try to keep an eye out for the reds and where they move to when you're dealing with the greys. That way you have a good idea of where you need to go. After you clear the last red, you want to hurry back to the middle because the blues will be pulled back in for the next cycle, and you need to be ready to hype again. The next cycle spawns 2 seconds after the blues are pulled in, so that's when you start hyping. You don't have to knock them completely down, but you want to get the reds lower so that they're faster to do later. Again, we're just going to pull these greys out to the side here and kind of spin around them to group them together. This will be pretty much the same thing that we just did a moment ago, so we're going to get them into the gravity well, go place a Plasma Flux, and then work on the reds. We'll have to do this about 4 times total, but it's pretty much the same every time. I prefer using the third person view so I can line up my head with Ashfang to make sure the Blazing Souls hit. It also gives you a wider field of view so you can see the reds more easily when they move around. If you can clear every red every time, it takes a little over 3 minutes to do the 4 cycles. One of the problems with doing a solo Ashfang is that the blues heal Ashfang every time they're pulled in. Unfortunately, if you want to get all the blues in a cycle, you need 2 people working on them. When the blues hit half health, they actually teleport, so the people that are doing the blues need to be able to move around a lot, and you really don't have time to do 4 blues by yourself most of the time. If you have T3 daggers, you might be able to pull it off, but most of the time you want to have 2 people working on the blues, 1 person on the reds, and 1 person doing the grays. Ashfang parties can be hard to find though, so that's where the solo effort comes into play. Overall, it takes about 3.5 minutes to do an Ashfang, swap servers, get back to another Ashfang, and start a new cycle all over again. So if you can do that consistently, you can do about 16 to 17 Ashfangs per hour. Now that actually won't be a very good money making method. You also need spell powder to make fire veils, which is the main thing that you would sell from this. So if you alternate this with mage, you actually would only make about 1 fire veil an hour. This solo method is mostly useful for doing your daily Ashfangs for reputation. Let's go over the cycle one more time. Start with the Hype to knock the reds' health down. Run around in circles to get the greys into a nice tight group. Lure them out into the nice wide open area. You can go around in circles here again just to keep them in that nice tight group. You want them all together when the wells spawn. And when you're moving them over to the well, remember to stay away from the well yourself. You want to be able to move away and put the Plasma Flux down right over Ashfang. This is actually pretty important because it helps you rebuild all of your mana and helps keep your HP up as well. By the time you get back to the well, the Blazing Souls should be ready to launch, so it's a pretty efficient use of your time to go place that Plasma Flux. When you're fighting the reds, keep an eye out for times when they're grouped up together. It's pretty convenient to be able to hit 2 at once, but it won't save you any time really because you still have to wait for the blues to be pulled in. So there we go, about 3 minutes and 7 seconds to complete, and now we can go find a new server with another Ashfang. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.